All right, everybody. UFC 159. I think everybody's been waiting for this. John Jones versus Chael Sonnen. We're going to start with a lightweight bout that's going to be between Jim Miller and Pat Healy. Jim Miller, I mean, he is a solid guy in the lightweight class. I mean, he's only had 4 losses in his career, and his losses came from Benson Henderson, Frankie Edgar, Gray Maynard, and actually Nate Diaz. But if you're going to lose the 4 guys in the UFC and in the lightweight class, that's probably the guys you'd want to lose to because they're all top-notch guys.
I mean, I think we know where Jim Miller stands, and currently he's ranked as the number 5 lightweight.
Right.
And Pat Healy, for anyone who doesn't pay attention to Strikeforce, that hasn't followed Strikeforce, you probably don't know the name. You probably don't know much about Pat Healy. Mm-hmm. I think Jim Miller wins this while going away. I don't think this is going to be a super tough contest for Jim Miller. Yeah. But I hope with the win here, it kind of pushes him, further up that ladder. With Pettis supposedly moving down the featherweight and Maynard with a fight coming up. If Maynard drops his next fight and Miller wins this one, this could push Miller past Nate Diaz. I mean, up into like that 2 or 3 range in the UFC rankings.
It's the lightweight class got really interesting since Strikeforce folded because I mean Healy is another one of these guys that came over from Strikeforce. He had, I think, what did we see, George? Like 7-1 in Strikeforce. And his
I mean Healy's going to come out and scrap. Yeah. I'm not going to be. Put it this way: if you haven't watched Healy fight, you don't be surprised if he finds a way to beat Jim Miller. I would not be surprised if Healy wins this, and then everyone's gonna be like, "Who the fuck's Pat Healy?" I'm just like,
yeah. Well, I'm gonna tell you who he was. He was undefeated until he met Josh Thompson. That was his last loss, and he hasn't had a loss in his last 6 fights. So he's on a fucking roll. So and after what Josh Thompson did last night, it doesn't seem to be a bad thing to have a loss to Josh Thompson right now on your record. Yeah, by no means. Now, moving on to
whoa, pump your brakes, pimp. Who you taking in the fight?
Who am I taking?
Yes.
Let me think real quick.
I'm taking Jim Miller by UD.
I'm right with you. I'm going to piggyback on that shit, dude. I think Jim Miller's going to get it done. I just think he's got more experience. He's fought better, opponents and stuff. Now, we also said that with Benson Henderson and Melendez, and we saw how good of a fight and how close that was. But I'm going to go with Jim Miller. Jim Miller by UD as well. Comical, brash, and sometimes politically incorrect. The Uncut Sports Show. Non-traditional sports coverage delivered the way you like it by your uncensored co-hosts, Kevin White and George Bedford.